Hello, YouTubers. Welcome back to Yorkshire Media. I am Mark, your host, your entertainment officer, whatever you want me to be. I am definitely cheaper than the BBC, Channel 4, Netflix, the Sky, the lot. A lot better. Now, what are we talking about today? Well, I'm going to talk about me. If this is going to be history corner, but it's going to be my history, if you know what I mean. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about me, then you might understand why I do certain things and film certain things and things like that. So you never know. So who am I? Well, I am Mark. I was born in 1966, the year of the when England won the World Cup. The only time that England has won the World Cup, 1966. I was born in Aubrey. Aubrey Junction, on Commercial Street, which is roughly from where I am, about 3 or 4 miles away, roughly, and things like that. I started school at 4 year old. Obviously, when I was in it, like I say, I was born in Aubrey, Commercial Street, and things like that. Moved to Lupton, which were Robin Hood Crescent at the time. That's where I did most of a lot of me growing up and playing about and things like that. You know, so I think from when I was about 6 months old, we moved to Robin Hood Crescent. Robin Hood Crescent, it were alright. I had friends around that area at the time and things like that. So it were alright for what it was. I went to Waterton Road Junior School, which there, when I was 4 year old, they found, I mean, obviously, 3 year old before that, 1969, and that I became a Leeds United fan. I used to go to Leeds United matches with my mum and my dad and things like that. But in 1970, a 4 year old started school at Waterton Road Junior School in Wootsit, and fortunately for me, they found out that I was falling behind and word blind. They didn't use it in that polite terms, because that particular school at the time called me, well, this is how thick people do the work and things like that. So I was falling behind all the time. School wanted, that particular school wasn't interested in things like that. So what my mum did, well, the education board and that, they got me into what they call a special school, where I would get one-to-one tuition and hopefully learn a lot more than what I will learn, which I did. I went to Bellevue School in Bellevue at the time. That's where we moved to, from Lupsit to Bellevue, because my mum and dad bought their own house and things like that. So my school in Bellevue School, special school, then that school closed down. I think that school closed down, and then we moved to Ranwood Hill, where I finished out my schooling and things like that. 16 when I left school, which would have been 1982, but 81, 82 time I would have left. Went to Wakefield College. I went to Wakefield College in 1981 and things like that. Introduced into garden design and things like that, and horticultural things like that. What else? And things like that. And then it was in that time in 1981, 82. I was on CB, Seasons and Pan Radio, giving everyone hassle. But I had a sense of humour and things like that, so I used to wind people up. And they used to wind me up as well. But they didn't like it when I wound them up. They used to threaten me and all sorts. But while I was at school, I missed a load of chunk. From the age of 4 year old right up to me leaving, right up just before I left school, I was bullied every day while I was at school and things like that. School tried to help, but it didn't really help. I snapped when I was 15 year old, and I just bred the school. The person who was bullying me, I bred him. I completely bred him. I put his head straight through a pane of glass and things like that. and I completely lost my temper and things like that. I was lucky that I didn't get it done actually, but I didn't. School didn't act on it, so he just ended up. I think he ended up in hospital, things like that. But he never come near me ever again, and things like that. So I was bullied from a very young age. Also from a very young age, from I'd say 3 year old, because my mum and dad used to fight. My dad used to hit my mother and things like that. But from a very young age, I had mental health problems and things like that. What wasn't recognised at the time, but I did have a lot of trauma. Now, a lot of people will be surprised when I was allowed to play out, which I was, as long as I didn't have any bruises. Now, that all changed when my mum met my stepdad, because my stepdad never used to hit me or all like that, so I could play out. I did get some kind of childhood. It's just that in the early years of my childhood, I had nothing but trauma. My dad, blamed my mum for it, but it wasn't my mum's fault, and it really wasn't. It was down to my dad. He shouldn't have used his fist on my mum or me and things like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I do have mental health problems and things like that. And then I moved on myself. Like I said, I moved on. I mean, 19, in the 80s, it was really weird because I would on CB and things like that, and generally having fun, which I was having fun, and I thought it was fun. But there you go. But other people didn't. They didn't like my sense of humour and that, and they thought they could bully me again, and that didn't work out so well for them and things like that. And then I think it was, like I say, I started work as well. I left school, in 81, 82. I did get work. I went on one of them, what they call, it were youth opportunities at the time. I went on two of them. Yeah, low paid, but I went on two of them, and that got me. And then there were what we call a job centre up in Wood Street. That's where job centre used to be, up in Wood Street. There were a thing, blue cards called community work, and give you a full time wage and everything, as long as you did it 12 months. I did a couple of them, and I rather enjoyed it, and I was getting paid a full time job and things like that. But now it all went from youth opportunities, and they cancelled all that out and did it on YTS and things like that. But I never went on YTS is the same as youth opportunities. You know what I mean? It's a youth training scheme. It's YTS, and same with youth opportunities. That's what that was. It was youth opportunity scheme, and it's exactly the same thing, same price as well. But then I got my full time job. Well, I did get a full time job, but it didn't last long. But I know when I was younger, I used to make money, like washing cars and things like that. And back in the day, when I was starting to get into trouble with police, my mum, wanted me to learn a career. I learnt from an antiques dealer, old antiques dealer, about certain antiques and things like that. But I never took it serious until recently, until several years ago. But that's another story. I've worked in florists and things like that. I have had work, but then my dad needed a carer, so it was down to me with that. I had to look after him. No, none of my other siblings would, so I did. People say, "Well, why are you doing that when he's done that to you?" It's a permanent reminder. Yeah. As he was the antagonist on the bull, it's a permanent reminder. He hated every minute of it, but he had to do as he was told. It's simple as. So I did that. As soon as he died in 2003, I got work. I really did. I mean, I tried to go out to work back in '97 because my dad lost his mobility and that, and they said, "Oh, he's not that bad." But so '97, I did get a job with Security Corps Guardian and that. That didn't last long. He didn't last long with that. So then my dad, became chronically ill in 90. I think it was '99, just before millennium. He was chronically ill, and so I gave up work again to look after him. I become his carer once again, and I did that. And then he died in 2003, and so in 2004 I got another job. You know, I got work with job security and things like that, and start from there. I'm currently out of work because I had a car accident in 2013, which was near death. I nearly died in that car crash. It wasn't a very nice experience at all, but I did that. And so 2013, that's where, I had to, I had 7 fractures and that, and all them needed mending. So that got done. I was in hospital. I nearly died while I was in hospital. I couldn't control my gases, so I swelled up a lot. And then when I got my gases back under control, I'm alive, so I survived it basically. But I survived the bullet sort of thing. I'm lucky to be alive. I'm lucky to be walking. Actually, it took me a long time. I mean, 2015 is when they started on. They started physiotherapy more or less straight away, but they didn't get me walking until 2014, and I was walking on crutches at the time. But 2014 came around. I left LGI to go to Pinders, and then from Pinders into Outwood, which was a rehabilitation centre. Went there, started getting walking. From there, I left there. It took me a while to get rid of crutches from 2014, but 2015, I was chucked off of sickness benefit and things like that. So that wasn't very nice because I got told, oh well, you don't need to be on sick. You can work as you are. I thought, are you daft or what? You're stupid, you know what I mean? But they chucked me off. Went down to the Dole office. They got a shop. This is what you're doing here. I says, you tell me. So they had Atos were in trouble, and they knew it. But Atos insisted, oh no, he can work. He can sit down and work. I thought, no, he can't. His arm don't work. I was strapped up, so I only had one arm. So I had to sign back on. Luckily for me, Joe Centre understood, and they says, do light work. Don't. Your contract's your contract. Says you look for work, but not seriously and things like until you get better marks. I did, and that's what I did. And up until now, they were pretty good about it, and still are pretty good about it, and things like that. But for me to get walking around like I had, it took me from 2014 right up to 2016, 17 to get back into fluidity and things like that. I'm still walking funny now. I'll never get back to full fitness like I was, but it is what it is. So that's why I do, and then it was 2017 when I first came onto YouTube and things like that, and I had my first YouTube channel, Yorkshireman 66. That turned out to do pretty well. Then I lost it through being locked out and things like that. Because somehow my password got changed, and every time I typed in the password, so Google couldn't get it back. They tried to recover it, they couldn't get it back from me. So it's still out there, but I can't get into it, and I never will be able to get into it. So this year, well, it was last year, wasn't it? It's 2022. In 2021, 16th of December, I set up this channel and things like that. So, I'm still on YouTube. I've been on YouTube all about 5 years. With this channel, not so long because it's new, if you know what I mean. But all in all, 5 years. 5 years is a long time. But I've learned, and I did do a video similar to this. I did go into more depth, but really, what do you really want to know? All what you need to know to bring you up to date about me is I'm still unemployed. I'm still looking for work, and I'm still wanting work, but I just can't get it. employees are not willing to give me a chance or anything like that, especially with me implants and things. Yeah, but it is what it is, and that, you know what I mean. So, it's not because I'm lazy. It's because I can't get a job at the moment. Hopefully that things will change. I'm hoping. I'm hoping things will change and stuff like that. So as you can see, I've opened myself up to criticism and all that, but at the end of the day, if what I can tell you now about me, learns you more about me, then fine. I mean, yes. Yes, my mum was beaten up by my dad. Even I was beaten up by my dad. Things like that. I've had depression from a very, well, like I say, from 3 year old, from a very young age, from and things. I wasn't diagnosed with depression until I was 4 or 5. I think I was 5 year old. Brian noticed that I was withdrawn and things like that. And when it all came out, it was just a nightmare. You know what I mean? But my mum did the right thing by divorcing my dad and getting out of there. And then my stepdad came along and it all changed for me. It really did. 5, 6, 7 year old, it all changed. Yes, my stepdad was strict, but he never hit me. He never did what my dad did and things like that. And he said he wouldn't, and he kept his promise. At the end of the day, I do respect my stepdad more than I do my dad. It's a bit odd, but it is what it is. And my mum, yes, I was very protective over my mum at that particular time. And don't forget, at the time, in 70s, Yorkshire Ripper were about as well. So you know what I mean. It were very, very testing times at that time. But well, that's me. But I went to a special school. I'm dyslexic. I've been dyslexic since I was age 4. I found out I was dyslexic from age 5 years, 5 years old. That's when I went to special school and things like that. Because I was, mainly because I was slow. But the other one is because I'm word blind. And I'm numerically blind as well. I'm blind on numbers. And there's certain words, what I don't know, I have to learn. People do ask me, how come you can read? Well, because I've had the training from a special school who know all about dyslexia and things like that. And the teaching of that has helped me. I can't write, I can print, but I can't do joined up writing. I can't read joined up writing because it moves and that. You know what I mean? I have to have a filter to do things like that, but I still can't, read joined up writing. Can't read proper handwriting. I can read printed words, but not proper handwriting and things like that. A school failed? No, school haven't failed me. I'm very intelligent and things like that. What school taught me was to be patient. You will get the results what you want, and they was right. The only thing about the school I went to is they didn't do A or O levels or all like that. I never got any qualifications at school or things like that. I did learn a lot. You know what I mean? I learned a hell of a lot, especially in woodworking and baking and things like that, and pottery and stuff like that. I did learn a lot. So people say, but I'm dyslexic. Yeah, I've known that all my life. But how come I can read is because I learned, from school how to read and how to, it was a false start. I couldn't read right up to the age of 6 or 7, but once I started at that school, little bits and bats, it all started to fall into place. They found out if they went at my speed, I could learn, and they also found out if they showed me if they showed me how to do certain things, I'd pick it up and things like that. So, you know what I mean? But I've had one-to-one tuition and things like that. There were no more than 8 in my class at any one time. So teacher could get round us all and just give us that bit more if we needed it and things like that. I learned patience at that at school and things, and like I said, I did pretty well. Except for bullying, it'd have been enjoyable. But it is what it is, and it's life. You know what I mean? But yeah, people don't understand because they think people who's dyslexic can't read. We can read. I know a lot of people who are dyslexic and they're a lot worse than me, but they can just about they can read. Um, I can read because from a very young age I was reading books as well. I was reading books at school, but I was also reading books at home. I had like books of Famous Five and things like that. They were all printed out in large print and on backgrounds I could, it didn't confuse me. So, and things like that. So, yeah, that's me in a nutshell. That's who I am, for better or for worse. But it's a myth. People who's got dyslexia, it's a myth that we don't know and we're not intelligent because we are very intelligent. I am. It's just that with my dyslexic brain, it takes a little bit longer to get there. I can't shortcut. If I have to explain something, I have to do it the long way around and things like that. So that's me in a nutshell. If you have liked this video, give me a thumbs up. Please like the video. Please, please, please subscribe if you are new. And hit the bell icon. That will let you know when I'm putting up another video. But please subscribe. It's free to subscribe, so why don't you? We like stuff what's free, so you might as well subscribe and see what it's all about. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But at the end of the day, at least you're giving it a try. Please share the video to other social media like Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And also your friends and your family. And comment below and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye. Bye. Ooh. Don't knock that off. Bye. For now. Catch you.